Back the old-fashioned way. The audio might not sound as crisp or as clean because we're going through the iPhone this time, but the iPhone is reliable and it never lets me down. The iPhone almost never buffers. It never goes black. The audio might not sound as great, but reliable system we got here. All right, let me go ahead and share this new one. It sounds all right when I'm on this side, but if I turn my head and I'm over here, or I'm over here, or over here, it doesn't pick up the audio very equally sometimes. And I notice that when I'm watching the streams back. I'm going to share this stream though. We've already got 12 back in here. But as promised, we're back. And we're going to keep the conversation going. This is why I don't use Streamlabs. Every time I try to use it, I have some type of issue. It always fails me. But just using the basic iPhone streaming directly from the phone technology, it almost never lets me down. We already got 30 back in here. Now we just need 10 times that. All right, let me get this other story shared now. And Streamlabs wouldn't let me do the music that I typically do because it probably will, but I just don't know how to do it. So I'm going to put the music on for this stream too. The classic 80s synthwave. But I'm definitely not ready for this conversation to end, so I want to keep it going. Sound is way better? Well, okay then. If you guys can, try to get everybody back in here. We're almost at 40. No Elgato logo too, yeah. I think I had the free... version. I don't know. I'm not a fucking streamer. I don't know how this shit works. All right, let me pull the chat back up and we'll get going. There we go. We got 50 people back in here. 55. All right. We're back. We're back in here. Mike's letter said Metazoo is synonymous with soon, more like synonymous with theft of consumer cash, says Cheeseburger. Is the mobile game canceled? I don't know. Nick Deadass, you should get into sorcery. You'd be a great marketing rep. I'm going to look into it. I've had a lot of TCGs reach out to me over the last week and a half, offering to send me booster boxes. Chronicles of Arcane, Cryptic, Akora. What's the one that... Otherverse, they've sent me a couple boxes. We're going to open one of their boxes on stream. But yeah, there's been a lot of TCGs that are looking for, I think, really the Metazoo base. Kid Turi says, I was going to buy some of Argos items from his recent sell-off 2 weeks ago, but I was turned off by how high some of those prices were going. Do you think Mike is lawyering up? Probably, yeah. I'm sure that Metazoo, as a company, already retains some legal counsel, because I think likely the first defendant of a lawsuit will be Metazoo, the LLC, and no individuals. But depending on how that goes. No, I'm not selling anything. What? Or I'm not selling everything. Why does everyone keep saying that? I'm not selling everything. Just the Mothman 1 of 1. I'm selling a lot of other stuff too, but nothing from my core collection. And I gave my reasoning for selling the Mothman 1 of 1 in the last live stream. I'm working on getting a PO box, but if you message me on Nick Strength and Pokemon, I'll just give you my address. If you look like an actual legitimate company, I'll just give you the address, my current address. But I was talking about this on the last stream. So the reason that I sold the Mothman 1 of 1 is because of the reason that I bought it. I bought that 1 of 1 Mothman to put my money where my mouth was. I was making videos about Metazoo every day. I believed in the brand. I believed in the future. I believed in the idea. And I was talking about them all the time. I was constantly opening it. But I really wanted to put my money where my mouth was and not just make the videos, but show that I really believed in this game. So that's why I spent all that money buying that card. And today, I feel like it is. It's the end of Metazoo. And I think it was a giant slap in the face to everybody that stuck around and supported up until this point. So as of today, I don't believe in the future of Metazoo. I don't believe they can turn it around. I don't believe they've treated people right for a very long time, but I think the way that they ended things today was the biggest slap in the face to the people that stuck around. So the reason I'm selling that 1 of 1 Mothman is because the reason that I bought it no longer exists. I don't have that faith in Metazoo. They're not going to turn around. I think they're done. I think as much as I want to still have hope that somebody picks up the IP and keeps the ball rolling, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's wishful thinking, and I think it's over. And I really think the biggest thing that happened today that really rubbed me the wrong way was Mike deleting his social media. Because like I said in that last stream, I think, the biggest criticism and the hate for Metazoo has been this theory that Metazoo is a big rug pull. It's a big scam. And Mike deleting his Instagram and his social media is exactly what a rug pull would feel like. Announcing, hey, company's done, closing our doors, and now you'll never be able to contact me again, never see what I'm doing. I'm off social media, I'm off the grid. See you later. That's what a rug pull feels like. And we don't know how much money, if any, I'm assuming he did, but if any, that Mike actually walked away with. But closing the company like that, deleting his Instagram, that to me was a giant slap in the face to everybody that has stuck around and still supported Metazoo. It's bad enough that we're not getting an explanation for why or what happened or why was this so quick, or like we didn't get an explanation, we didn't get a reason. All the questions that we have still haven't gotten answered. That was bad enough. Mike deleting his Instagram was like the icing on the cake. But then you've also got to consider the people that have outstanding pre-orders. There's money that's owed to people. There's product that's owed to people. There's people right now that have pre-ordered directly from Metazoo. Metazoo owes them money. And they're going out of business with no explanation and no indication that those people are ever going to see that money or that product. It's just a slap in the face to everybody. And the people that stuck around this long are the people that truly believed in the future of Metazoo. These were the true fans, the true supporters, the people that were still spending money despite all the negativity, all the naysayers, all the bad decisions that Metazoo made. The people that were still here to see that letter that was posted today were the people that really cared and the people that really just love this game and love collecting this product. And those were all the people that stuck around this long to be slapped in the face by that announcement today. And the way the whole thing was handled, I think was insulting and I really almost degrading to the people that stuck around. Like, it was like, thank you guys for supporting me longer than anybody else. But fuck you guys, you're idiots. You shouldn't have stuck around this long. You should have got out a long time ago because everything that the naysayer said looks like it's true. And again, now that we're on the beginning of a new stream, I want to say it again, but any former employee of Metazoo, any artist, any staff member, if anybody wants to do an interview or say their piece or give their story, anybody that can answer any of the questions that the community has right now, open invitation to come on my channel and speak your side. Anything that could give the community more answers to these questions, I'm open to. We just started a new stream, Pokemon Master. Another full hollow. Yeah, make sure you guys hit the like button. Try to get this stream back up to where we were. I don't think we're going to get back up to 300, but we got 132 in here. That's solid. It is 2 in the morning almost at my Eastern time. And think about the artists that stuck around. From talking to the artists that left, a lot of the artists that stayed didn't even want to stay. They stayed because they had to. They needed the money. And think about, it looked like today they might have gotten a heads up an hour before the public did. They probably had no idea this was coming, just like the rest of us. They found out maybe an hour beforehand. I mean, what a slap in the face to the people that worked for the company, that stuck around, despite all the alleged mistreatment going on behind the scenes. Thank you, Wizards Den. I appreciate that. I think they were moving too fast with their ideas also, says Ernesto. What did Chris say in his live? I didn't catch that. How many different sets are you opening for this? We're about done. This is the last pack of Karami. I think we're going to go into some native next. And I think maybe Wednesday will be the next live stream. Because I've got so much shit just coming in that I need to catch up on. I think Wednesday will be the biggest of the Karami streams. We'll have the 36 of the blister packs from Target, and we'll have 2 booster boxes of Karami that were not from the TCG player thing. And then I've got a bunch of other stuff coming in, because unfortunately last night, I should have waited till today, but no one knew this was coming. I bought a bunch more stuff to open last night. I got a couple cheap Nightfall boxes, a couple more first edition boxes, and maybe, the next couple days I'll buy more. But the next stream that I have planned is going to be heavily Karami. Because Karami, like I said in the last stream, I think is the set that is responsible for all this happening. Yeah, the Target ones that I ordered, I'm sure they're coming. They shipped, and I have a tracking number. They should be here Wednesday. I heard the whole Metazoo shutdown was just a really, really early April Fool's prank. I don't think so. I think it's the end of an era. And I think there's no coming back from it. Thank you, Pokieni. I actually have seen a lot of your stuff. I've seen the Vice documentary, and I just watched the other day. Who's the reseller guy? Is it Phoenix Resell? He just did another. There was another kind of documentary about your business. I was just watching it the other day. I think it was Phoenix Resell. But I appreciate that, man. I've seen a lot of your stuff, and I really respect what you're doing. That's the American dream, what you're doing. I just think anybody that takes a risk like that to do something that they enjoy and it pays off is just such a good story. Yeah, dude, anytime. I was watching that video and seeing the way your basement was set up and the way you have everything so streamlined. I was like, man, that's super cool. Full Hollow Aquila Bapa. It's a cool looking card. Shout out to Afton, I guess. Thank you, Meg. I think Nightfall was one of my favorite sets to open. I'll never forget that Halloween stream that I did. Yeah, I've got a couple boxes I still need to open from Otherverse. They've sent me a couple of different things. I'm thinking about doing like a mega stream of all these different companies. Because Akora has sent me some stuff. Otherverse, Chronicles of Arcane, Cryptic. I'm thinking about just doing a stream where I open like one of all their booster boxes and kind of showcasing all these different TCGs on like one big stream. Quiet Tokes has just finished actually watching your video on this. What's your take on it after watching that video? I haven't opened any of the Otherverse yet, Pokemon Master James, but Akora was pretty cool. I like the artwork in Akora. I like some of their bigger dragon characters. I think are pretty cool designs. I think I opened one pack of the Otherverse, and Otherverse seems to be heavily waifu based. So if you're into waifus and big anime titties, that's the game for you. But Akora had some really cool, almost Yu-Gi-Oh-esque designs, I think, for some of their monsters. Quiet Toke says, sadly, I enjoyed their cryptid concept as much as everyone else, but they needed to fix this much earlier. 100%, man. Such a weird name for this card. Akora overprinted to the ground, I think. I'm eager to get a little bit back into Cryptic because Cryptic had sent me very early on. Cryptic had sent me a bunch of different things, and I ended up selling one of the booster boxes that they sent me early on for I think $5,000. It was like one of their first run of product, and I ended up selling that for like $5,000. They sent it to me with like a bunch of other stuff for free. Yeah, the 66 Riddle box. I think, honestly, every indie TCG right now, whether it was a Kickstarter or whatever, none of them are doing great. Full Hollow Giant's Blood. Cheeseburger is trolling hard. Cheeseburger said, I heard Mike say he was trans in an interview. Is that true? I don't think Mike is trans. Another Aquila Bopa, full hollow. Yeah, everybody keeps talking about sorcery. If anybody from sorcery wants to reach out and send me a box, I'll open it on the channel. I'm very hesitant right now to buy boxes of other TCGs, but just based on how everything's been going. But if you want to send me a box, I'll open it on the channel, give you some free promo. You can take advantage of the market right now of a bunch of people that are looking for something new to collect. A lot of people have a lot to say about sorcery, though. It's a cool looking card. Powwow Spirit Token. Someone clip that and post it on the Discord. Hey, I'm serious. I would just go out and buy one, but there's so many TCGs right now that are up and coming. I would be hesitant to buy a box from any of them, but if they want to send me one, I'll open it on the channel, give them a good recommendation, if I like it. Boy Niel. It's been so long since I've opened native, I don't even recognize some of these cards. Mando says, do you think that if the IP gets purchased and Metazoo is continued, will already printed product retain its value? I don't know, man. I think just in general, it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of weeks and couple of months. I think right now, there's a frenzy to sell. And price, what's up, Team Rocket Rob? And prices are very low right now on a lot of stuff. But I honestly do think no matter what happens, it's going to stabilize in the next few weeks, next few months. Why is this lagging again? I personally don't think Metazoo can be saved. But I do think that some of the product will hold value. Yeah, that's what we were talking about in the last video, Cam, on the last stream before it went down. It's like, what is the IP exactly? Because when you talk about somebody coming in and buying Metazoo, the main value is buying the business. They would be buying the artists that come with it. They'd be buying the art that comes with it. They'd be buying the connections that Metazoo already made, the distribution, the printers, the packaging, all that stuff that comes with a business that's already been established. That's what they're buying. And I think the theory now is that Metazoo has already gone bankrupt. So the business is dead. The business is gone. The artists are now unemployed. They don't have a job there. I think probably that means also the staff is now unemployed. There is no business. I think they're in debt. I think they're probably bankrupt. And I think the business is unsellable. So what is the IP? Cryptids? The idea of cryptids is like, most of it is already, what's the term? Like Steamboat Willie just became, why am I blanking on the term? Shit, I don't know. Steamboat Willie, Winnie the Pooh, Pinocchio. What's the word I'm looking for here? Public domain, there we go. Cryptids are public domain. So really the IP of Metazoo is just what? The logo and maybe the game. like the actual playable game, and then the artwork of the characters that they designed. But all those artists are gone, so they can't even really continue that artwork because the artists are gone. And look, I think the real reason is they've got such a bad reputation right now. It's such a risky investment. They've made so many mistakes. They've got so much negativity on the brand, on the name. And I think they probably are also in a lot of debt. So I think they're just unbuyable. If they were, I like the idea of buying them. I would be an investor. And we don't know, I don't know. I really don't know the financial inner workings of Metazoo. And that's the big problem is we don't know why they shut down. We don't know what the reason was. We don't know the state of the company, but we do know they couldn't be sold. And I think that's the reason is they have so much debt. But I like the idea of buying it. I think if like me and Argos and Rudy, or maybe just me and Argos and whoever else, we could have members of the community become shareholders, people that wanted to invest $100 or $1,000 to get like 0.5% or whatever, and we could try to get it back off the ground. But I think the problem is there's so much debt that there'd be no incentive to buy it. I think you would be buying somebody else's debt. But I would put up, I would go in at like, I don't even know. I think it would be very risky to do it. I would put up like $50,000 to $100,000 for part ownership. But there's nothing to sell though. I like the idea. So many people have suggested this is why don't we just do like a community fundraiser and we buy the brand back? I like the idea. I like that concept, but I don't think there's anything to buy. We're just buying their debt. It would be good if they didn't have any debt and we were getting access to the distributors and the printers and I guess the art that they already have and maybe rehiring. I mean, you would have to spend more money once you bought there's nothing to buy. I do like that idea though. And we don't really know what's going on, but I think the idea of the community trying to revive it and maybe buying it back for a fraction of what it was worth at one point and trying our best to keep it going, even if it was a small, 1,000 box print run for future sets or something like that, just to keep it going in perpetuity. If we could figure out a way. No, I'm not going down this road. I'm saying I like the idea, but I don't think there's anything to buy. If there was, I'd be open to it. But I think it's done. It's over. I just have a feeling that whatever the situation is, I bet they have more debt than it would possibly be worth to buy the company. Whatever the company may have been worth, I think their debt exceeds that. And it's just unsellable. Sorry, chat. Nick's a little drunk. This isn't him. He's just talking gibberish. I'm not saying I would do it. I don't think it's a possibility. I like the idea. And that's the thing. I don't even think it would be profitable to do that. Even if they didn't have debt, and me and Argos and other people from the community, if we were to buy the business and they didn't have any debt, I don't even think it would be profitable enough for us to even make our money back. I think it would just be enough to maybe break even in like 10 years and just release maybe a set or two a year. Blitzen says Argo still says Hello Kitty's on the rise. And I hate to say that because I would love for there to be some hope. I would love for there to be some silver lining. I just don't think there is. I've thought about it from like every possible angle. And I think even if you were to buy the business, then you'd have to spend even more money. You'd have to rehire the artists and get more art. You'd have to hire a new staff. And now you'd be paying a new payroll. So you'd have the cost of buying the business. You'd inherit their debt. You'd have to pay new staff. You'd have to pay new artists. You'd have to pay to get stuff printed. You'd have to pay to get stuff distributed. I mean, it's like, it would be such a massive undertaking for a company that already failed on its own. There we go. There's an aura card. The Sylvan Mud Fusion Aura. Yeah, that's exactly my point. Plastic Man says it's easier to set up a new company than continue since cryptids are public domain. That's exactly it. There's nothing to buy, really. And, you know, they had the best opportunity. They already had the opportunity to take a cryptid theme and run with it, and they failed. So what would make anybody else think they could take a cryptid theme and start a new game with new artwork and a new theme and then be successful when Metazoo already had a cult-like following and still failed? And I feel like you're almost even at a disadvantage if you were to buy Metazoo to start off with Metazoo as the name of your company because they've got so much negative publicity. And the fact of the matter is, even if Argos and I were super, Argos and I and whoever else, if we had some angel investors, even if we're super enthusiastic and positive and our intention is to do the right thing with the brand, I mean, I don't have any experience running a trading card company, which neither did Mike, and neither does Argos. So who's to say, even if we had the best intentions, we still wouldn't even know what we're doing. It's done. I think that would be the only Hail Mary, is for something like that to happen. It's like the last couple people that are super passionate about it that might be able to afford buying it. But we couldn't even run it. We still wouldn't even know what we're doing. So it's done. And I think that's the last hope they would ever have. And that's a real shot in the dark. Reverse hollow. What I do wonder about, though, is let's say that Metazoo files for bankruptcy. Let's say they completely dissolve, they file for bankruptcy, and Metazoo is gone. And we start from the ground up. So Metazoo's gone, bankruptcy, it's done. What if someone comes in after that and they say, look, we want the distribution, we want the printers, we want the infrastructure, we'll bring back the artist. What would it cost to get the Metazoo brand, the Metazoo IP, the same trading card game, like to fit in with the game, to just do one set per year? What would it cost? What would we make? How could we get just one set per year to continue to come out? I don't think it would cost millions. I mean, even the Kickstarter, they only raised $18,000 for how many boxes? Let's say we just did 1,000 boxes a year just to keep the brand going. So Metazoo's done, gone, their debt's gone, starting from the ground up with just the name Metazoo in the game and the cryptid theme. Because the thing is, I wouldn't like Metazoo is so untouchable right now. I wouldn't even be willing to risk like 100,000 on it. Millions is out of the question. It's too risky. But what if just for the sake of pleasing the hardcore fans, just like a Kickstarter size print run once or twice a year? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. I think inevitably we're going to see they're going to file for bankruptcy for Hollow Chibi Wendigo. And we'll let that play out and see what happens. I think the Metazoo as we know it, that was started by Mike Waddell, that business is done and gone. But could something rise from the ashes once everything with that is settled and Metazoo is at zero, nothing? Watching you open packs is like watching a man look at photos of his ex-wife the day after his divorce. I like that comment. It does feel like going back and watching a sex tape that you made with an ex-girlfriend like 5 years ago. Opening Metazoo now. It's like the most guilty feeling. That's what this feels like. Now be honest with me, guys. Have you ever gone back and beat off to a nude of one of your ex-girlfriends years after the fact? That's what this is. Treasure Hunt said nope. There's a full haul. King Collection says I do it all the time. Kane says no, I just cry to it. Nick's not just looking at one X, he has a couple boxes of X's to go through. King Collection says, shit, I cry doing it sometimes. I get excited to have a new phone just so I don't have my ex's photos on my iCloud. KK says, I deleted the ex's nudes and I regretted it. Y'all have girlfriends. I thought all we did was talk about cryptids. I wonder if Steve Aoki has taken Metazoo out of his bio. Full hollow. So what happens now with the game client in beta? We have no idea. We're almost done with this box of native. What do you think? You want me to do another box or no? To be fair, the nudes I had on my exes were like the 2009 potato phones. I'm thinking one more box. We did hit one Fusion Aura. That's it. How do you think the Kickstarter boxes will settle at? It's an interesting question. I don't know. The fact that one sold for $400 is, I don't know. It seems like it could be an outlier. That seems like too fast of a drop. I mean, obviously a lot of Metazoo stuff is tanking right now, but $400 does not seem like. I think that seems a little bit quick to drop that fast. But maybe that's what it's going to be. Maybe they're going to be $200 next week. What do you guys want me to open next? We'll do one more box. I'll let you guys pick. I've got another first edition box. Let's see. I have no idea. We'll check right now. What is my one of one at? I do have a Topps Chrome. We could do Topps Chrome. I've got a Topps Chrome hobby box and a Topps Chrome blaster. What is my one of one Mothman at right now? Yeah, we could do some Chrome. I think Chrome would be good. The one of one Moth is only at $474, but it's only been listed for like 5 hours. All right, let's see. Half Chrome, half Nightfall. My Nightfall boxes haven't came yet, so I don't have Nightfall. All right, I'm voting for Topps Chrome. I'm going to grab a Chrome hobby box and a Chrome blaster, and I'll grab a first edition box just in case. We'll see. All right, give me a second. I got to go grab this shit. I want to give the people what they want, though. Some good stuff. Did he leave the beat off? High quality urination sounds. Oh yeah, I definitely took a piss. All right, we're gonna mix it up a little bit. So I've got a Wilderness and a Cryptid Nation Top Series 0. These I'm pretty confident have been unweighed, untampered with from the seller that I got them from. I've got a Topps Chrome or blaster and a hobby. Let's start off with the blaster. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying that they took the Revive off the marketplace. You can't even redeem Revive cards now. That didn't work. What are you sipping on? You know, I say this every stream. I always preface every stream with, I wasn't going to drink tonight, but. I wasn't going to drink tonight, but today sucked, man. Honestly, today was sad. Today was worth a drink. We got a little lukewarm margarita. Now the ice is all melted. But yeah, honestly, today sucked. I haven't even talked to Christina basically since we broke up, and even she texted me today. She's like, "Did you hear about Metazoo?" I mean, it's sad. Looks like we have a hit here, though. Uncle Sam? Of course, it's a ghost deer. Probably worth $1. Metazoo bringing the ex-girlfriends, bro. What a shit show this is. It is what it is, brother. Ex-girlfriends are ex-girlfriends for a reason. I think the issue with the Streamlabs stream was this cable. It keeps like trying to reconnect to the computer for some reason. I think it's one of these shitty Amazon lightning cables. Dean says my ex broke up with me today too. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. With Mothman, Ben B, and a cactus cat. You gave Metazoo another chance. You better give her another chance. Kiwi Boo says, have you ever considered or been interested in other TCGs? Why does Metazoo appeal to you more than something like Pokemon, for example? I've talked about this a little bit, and I've had a bunch of TCGs, like current up-and-coming indie TCGs, reach out to me. They've all sent me boxes and all this shit. I'm going to open those in a stream and see, if I like them or not. I'll give them a chance. But honestly, I've said this in a couple of videos, but modern Pokemon, Scarlet and Violet, just I just really, it doesn't do it for me. And I know that some people disagree with that. I know that the like alt art secret rares, a lot of people really like the new artwork. I just don't enjoy opening the new modern Pokemon. That's just all there is to it. I liked 151. I like celebrations. I liked evolutions, kind of those homages to the old generations. But Metazoo, I just like the art style. I like the simplicity of it. A lot of people criticized it for being like childish artwork or whatever they said. I really like the Metazoo artwork. I like the simplicity of it. I like the cryptid idea, and I enjoy opening it. But I am going to get back into Pokemon, but vintage stuff. And don't get me wrong, I'm not done with Metazoo completely. There's going to be more Metazoo videos to make. There's going to be a lot more to this story. I'm telling you guys, there's going to be a lot more. There's so many questions that still need to be answered. There's so many things that still need to be discussed with why this happened. What's going to happen with the players that didn't get paid? What's going to happen with the pre-orders that never got fulfilled? What's going to happen with all the money that people have spent on items that they didn't get? What's going to happen with the staff that left? I wonder if all the staff was fully paid out. And that's why I said open invitation to any former Metazoo employee or artist or whatever. If you want to come on the channel and tell your story, open invitation. I think there's going to be a lot more to the story. What happened with Steve Aoki? What happened with Mike? What happened with Andy? Who made the decision to shut Metazoo down, and why? And why was it so abrupt? Is Metazoo still sitting on a bunch of product? Is there stuff that they printed that hasn't been released yet? Is there going to be some kind of liquidation, a flash sale of whatever product they still have? Is there going to be some last attempt to sell whatever they got? Are there any pending lawsuits against Mike or Metazoo? I think there's a lot to still be discussed and to still be talked about. And I really do think a documentary needs to be made about the rise and fall of Metazoo. I think it's an interesting story. Vince says my favorite mystery is where's the pink box? And honestly, if the prices continue to go the direction they're going, we could still do some really cool Metazoo openings. I mean, if Kickstarter boxes really start selling for sub $400, we could be opening a Kickstarter box here every week if they're like $200, whatever they start going for. I mean, we could be opening up the highest value Metazoo Grails and just opening them like they're nothing. I mean, I think the Metazoo community would still tune in to see a Kickstarter opening if we did like a weekly Kickstarter box. I mean, if they keep going down below $400, Chris, let's do it, bro. I think that's the content that still needs to be made. I open invitation. I think any former Metazoo employees or artists, and now that a whole new group of artists have left, if anybody wants to come on and tell their story openly, I mean, really, at this point, it looks like there's not going to be any repercussions. I don't think anybody from Metazoo, from the looks of this, even have the resources to pursue legal action against anybody. Even if you broke your whatever NDA or said the most inflammatory stuff, I don't think they can even, I don't think they have the resources to even go after you. And not to say that I think Chris would say anything inflammatory, but I think it's kind of open season right now. If they don't have $30,000 to pay a player, I don't think anybody at Metazoo has the money to pursue a lawsuit against an artist or a former employee. Oh, bro. Chris says, should I share all the artwork that I did that was and will never be released? I like this. John says, I just pulled an old scratch, sitting here busting sealed collection along with you. Hell yeah, bro. Congratulations, man. There we go. Nice. Mothman Refractor. That never gets old. What a day to pull it. Man, I think if you sold that old scratch right now, you'd still get a couple $1,000s. Even in this market. You'd still get like $2,000 for that. As bad as the Metazoo market is right now, to pull an old scratch from a Nightfall box that's going for like 25, 30 bucks right now, you could still make some money off that card. Death Beam. Gary was in the chat on the previous stream, and he said yes, he's still going to be on Pawn Stars, but without Mike. Brandon is asking Chris, he says, just a simple question from a Christian. Were Mike and Andy liars and deceivers? You know, Chris, if we do an interview, we could do, I don't know how you want to release the artwork, but we could do a link on that interview to maybe whatever website you're posting the artwork, or you could show some of it on the interview. We could probably do something pretty cool. And I'm such a bad streamer and YouTuber. I just learned how to record a Zoom call last year when I did the interview with Arnold last year. I didn't know what I was doing, and I had to learn how to record a Zoom call, like to do an interview video, and it turned out terrible. I ended up recording the Arnold interview. I recorded it wrong so that when it recorded, it only recorded the person speaking. And so it didn't show both people at the same time. So I fucked that whole thing up. Vincent says, do you think the golden ticket could be traded for the whole Metazoo company now? Yeah, I bet Hyperbole is glad he sold that golden ticket when he did. I think he sold it for $8,000. Charman. Rump Diffusal. I know, it's sad, man. Chris says, Brandon, they are humans, so I'm sure they have both. They have done both just like myself. That's a fair point. That's a fair answer to that question. Chibi Mothman. We might have something in this pack. Chupacabra, green refractor. Number 11 out of 99. What's this worth, guys? $1? I don't think there's very many people in here that don't own any Metazoo. I think the majority of people are here because they're sad that it's gone and they were collectors. But I do think it would be cool to do a series on this channel interviewing the artists now that every artist has left. And then, you know, giving them a shout out to whatever project they're working on now or whatever links to their website. And just to have them talk about their experience at Metazoo, I think would be valuable, since basically everybody in the community right now has no answers at all. I have not spoken to Argos, no. And Mothman. Ghost Train. Pokemon Master James, I can definitely say I did not make a profit on Metazoo. And I just looked at Aoki's Instagram. He still has Metazoo in his bio. Chateau FN says, I've been watching you, Nick, since Wilderness, and I've never bought anything. Metazoo's always been something to check on and see how it's doing every now and then. I respect that. Cryptid Cam, Injured Cold, and a Cactus Cat. I think Aoki probably knows. I think Aoki and Gary King Pokemon are pretty close and talk pretty regularly. And Gary was in the chat. So this is the second stream of the night. And Gary was in the last chat. And he was talking about how he just found out today. He didn't know anything about it. I'm sure he probably talked to Steve about what happened. But I'm sure they both had no idea it was coming from the sounds of the way Gary was describing it. So is there really that much beef between Argos and Bailey? I don't really know much about this at all. BD says, really glad I bought 8 Kickstarter packs last week. Yeah, man, from the sounds of it, those are like $10 packs right now. If a box really sold for $400, it's like $10 a pack. Nick, there's hella beef with Argos and Bailey. Nice, Frogman and a Mothman. Nick, what drew you to Metazoo over all the other new TCGs that popped up around the time? I talked about it a little bit earlier, but I like the simplicity of the artwork. I like the watercolor, like OG Pokemon style. I just think it's cool. I think a lot of the other new TCGs that popped up have more of a Magic the Gathering feel to them. And I never grew up on Magic, and I don't really have any nostalgia towards that artwork. So this like a basic watercolor, you know, just kind of a cryptid monster character, I think is a cool idea. Pokemaster James says, we all got scammed so hard. I don't know, man. It's not a good day, that's for sure. I just have a feeling this is only the tip of the iceberg, and I feel like there's a lot more that's going to come out. I think there's a lot more videos to be made, and I think there's a lot more to this story. And I'm going to try to get to the bottom of it, and we're going to try to document it on the channel. But I think this announcement today is only the tip of the iceberg of whatever happened, whatever was going on. I feel like this is just the beginning of whatever this story is. It certainly seems to be the end of the brand, but I think the story is just getting started. Yes, it seems to be pretty much confirmed. Andy does have a Lamborghini and Mike does have a G-Wagon. Both of which are over $250,000 cars. Yeah, Katie, I think so too. I think now that everybody's gone, this is where things get really interesting. If Metazoo's done and they've got no staff, everybody that was working for them is gone, and they have no job to worry about, no job security on the line. All the artists are gone. I feel like this is where the stories start to come out. This is where people have nothing to lose and they don't give a fuck. And they're going to be messaging me saying, I want to tell my story. And we're going to put them right up on the channel. Let's do the wilderness tops first. I haven't done this in a long time. I want to say, though, I appreciate all you guys that have been here tonight. I think you guys are the lifeblood of what this used to be. And I think you guys are what made this so enjoyable over the years. And I think this is what makes it so sad. There's so many good people that love this game, love collecting it, love these streams, loved opening it. And all of us were let down. And I just want to say I'm sorry for you guys. It sucks for me. I know it sucks for you. And I'm sorry that this happened. But I appreciate you all being here for the funeral day one. And like I said, make sure you guys subscribe and stay tuned because it's not over yet. And we're still going to do another stream. Hopefully Wednesday, we'll have the mega Karami stream. But I'm telling you guys, based on some of the people that I've talked to already, I just know there's more to this story. And this is going to be something that I think there's going to be some really groundbreaking stories that come out in the wake of this that I think you guys will be interested to see. I've already heard some things that I have not talked about yet that you'll see. No, Sean is not talking about the one of one moth. I believe Sean is the guy I bought a Redeemable Mothman from. So like I said before, one of the things that I was concerned about, I had a feeling that something might happen with Metazoo. So I was actively buying a bunch of Redeemable Revive cards to get the skateboards. And I believe Sean is the guy that I bought the Mothman Redeemable board card from. Frogman's Reveal. I don't even think I have this card. Yeah, and I'm kicking myself now because I'll have to give him a shout out in another video. But a guy, I forget his name now, but a guy sent me from Australia a Redeemable Sam Sinclair. And I just got it yesterday. And I was going to redeem it last night, but for some reason I didn't. And I think now it's too late. I was gonna go on last night and do it, and I just never got around to it and forgot about it for whatever reason. And I think it's probably too late. But I do have about 20 Revive Metazoo boards, so I got as many as I possibly could. Because I had a feeling, even if Metazoo didn't shut down, I had a feeling that eventually you would stop being able to redeem those boards. And man, I'm so fucking grateful that in the past month I was able to redeem both of the Mothman boards. Because now you just flat out can't do it. I finally took the risk in the last month and I bought those redeemable Mothman cards. And I'm so glad that I did, because now you just can't get them. I think those boards, God only knows how many of the boards have ever actually been redeemed. But there was only 50 boards available of that original Mothman. And who even knows if half of them have been redeemed, and the rest of them are just, I think, going to be lost. I'm so glad that I took that leap, though, and that those were the cards that I started to go after when Metazoo prices started to drop. Because I love the boards, man. I've talked about this before, but when I was a kid, man, this is a cool card. When I was a kid, tech decks were the shit. And I got a skateboard. I had a World Industries board, and I had a Spider-Man board too. And I skated a little bit. I was a fat little shit of a kid. I was so unathletic, but I skated a little bit. I sucked. I wasn't good at it. I was a fat little nerdy kid. But tech decks were the shit when I was a kid. And I collected some skateboards. I tried to skate a little bit. I collected tech decks. I still have a bunch of them to this day. But when those Revive boards came out, I was like, man, this is so cool. This is such a good idea. And again, it was like another nostalgic thing for me that just gave me that nostalgic connection, was skateboards I haven't thought about since I was 10 or 11 years old. So we got a hollow White Screamer. It's my girlfriend's nickname. All right, last pack. Uh-oh. Do we have a hit in this? No hit? Just a blank card. Actually, honestly, I haven't had a whole lot of White Screamers lately. I think in the past couple of years, I've dated more black girls than white girls. All right, let's do this Top Series 0. And maybe I'll keep going and do this UFO box. I don't really want to end it yet. No, I came back afterwards. I wanted to ask you these Japanese rice TMNT cards. You have to get a case of these. Send me a link on Instagram. I'll check it out. Was it just the Mothman and Mike that had a 1 of 1? No, every card had a 1 of 1. Any Pokemon or something fun to open besides this? Getting tired. We got a Hide Behind as our holo. Did we at least get a Mothman in here? Frogman. No Mothman. Nick, for someone looking to get cut, is there a trainer you could recommend? Not a trainer, but I think the best diet for anybody trying to lose weight is a ketogenic diet. I stand by that for anybody that is ever trying to get in shape. High protein, high fat, lots of meat, no carbs. All right, fuck it. We'll do this UFO box too. I still want to pull that neutrality totality aura. Pokemaster James, I can't. This is a Metazoo funeral stream. It's got to be Metazoo only. I'll do a video on it someday, the Tech Deck collection. I'm always tired when I eat. What can I do to help that? I don't know. What time do you eat? Personally, I only eat after I've worked out. I wake up pretty late. I wake up at like noon. And then I'll work out. I'll do work for my main channel. I'll get in the sauna. I'll do all my shit for the day. And then I'll eat at like 6 or 7 at night. And I really only eat like one meal a day, but it's a big meal. Yeah, Sam Sulik is great. I like Sam Sulik a lot. And he's from Ohio. He only lives about an hour away from me. Soccer Kill says, what are people here collecting now that Metazoo is done? I think a lot of us are still collecting Metazoo. It's like, it's the cheapest it's ever been, man. We're collecting history of a dead TCG. That's also true, Stanley. Korean Yu-Gi-Oh! Is fun. I'll try to open up this UFO fast, because UFO is basically, of all the Metazoo sets, it's probably the most worthless right now. But I do want one of those neutrality totality auras. I wasted more on my gym membership in the last 3 years than Metazoo, so at least there's that. That's good. It's not bad. We're almost at 69 likes already. I'm checking my DMs right now. Trying to see if we have any potential Metazoo interviews in the future. Lawcow TCG messaged me, and they said they're making a special Mike Waddell Lawcow card. That's fucking awesome. Oh man, it's a sad day. I mean, honestly, as much as we make jokes about it, it is sad. I mean, I called my friend Chris earlier, and we collected Metazoo together. Like I said, it was like kind of what brought us back together. 17 years of friendship. It got us back to talking every day. And one of the things he said when I called him, he's like, "Man, do you think our friendship's gonna fall apart now that we don't have Metazoo to talk about?" And it was kind of funny, but he was like half serious. Like, this is what we talk about every day, is what's going on with Metazoo, and it is kind of sad. And he even said, he's like, "Man, I feel like I should be crying." He's like, "I never drink, but I feel like I should drink tonight." And he's like, this is like this is a sad moment. I am drinking Wing Pikachu. We're almost done with my last drink. The margaritas that I drink, Dean, are it's a brand called On the Rocks, and it's like a pre-mixed margarita. They're like 20 proof. Or no, they're 20%, but they're 40 proof. And they're really good. They're really strong. They're really good. Jason says I never would have found. I appreciate that, bro. I'm glad you did find me. And in the next couple months, the next couple weeks, we'll figure out what the next pivot for the channel is. We're gonna keep going. But I still think there's weeks and maybe months worth of Metazoo content to be made. I really do think there's so much to explore here with what happened with this shit. I just think there's so much more to this story, and I feel like there's so many people that we can talk to, so many interviews we can get, and I feel like, especially with the video that I want to make tomorrow about the lawsuits and the LLC records and stuff, I just think there's so much to dive into here. And I'll say it again. I would I would almost pay Mike. I want so much, so badly, to do an interview with Mike on this channel. And like I said, even if that's what he wanted, if he didn't want me to ask any questions, if he just wanted to come on and address the community, but I want so badly to just, I would even pay him to come on and just do an interview, answer the questions, tell us what happened, what went wrong, what went south, what made this happen. I just think people deserve to know. So again, I'll reiterate it for the 1,000th time, but Mike, if you're watching, if any of Mike's friends are watching, I would love to have him on the channel, hear his side of the story. I'm not going to be an asshole. I'm not going to be a dick. I'm not going to be hostile. I think the Metazoo community really deserves an explanation, especially the proximity of that letter, the apology, and then like a month later, just shutting everything down. I think the community deserves it. It's not just support. They spent their money, their hard-earned money, thousands of dollars on his idea, his brand. And for it to just shut down with no explanation, I think he owes it to the people. And I think this is the place to do it. My desk. You can't, it doesn't come across in the videos, but the back of my desk, there's a little bit of a walkway behind it. I can definitely get out of my desk. I definitely understand. I see so many comments asking that. How does Nick get out of his desk? It is a U-shaped desk, So 3 of the 4 sides of me are covered with desk, and then behind me is a wall, but there's a small little walkway to get out behind it. It is a big ass desk, and it is a U shape, so it is wrapped entirely around me. But behind me, I do have a little bit of a walkway to get out. But yeah, Mike, if you're watching, open invitation. And I think it would be a good idea because I just checked my DMs. There's already people that worked for Metazoo. There's already artists that are reaching out wanting to do interviews. There's a bunch of players from the Dark Tower that want to do an interview. And if you wanted to get ahead of all that, I think just reach out to me. Because I think it's almost going to be worse if he doesn't. And I don't even think people care as much about what the employees or the artists have to say. I think people genuinely just want to hear what the creator has to say. Whether they like him or hate him, I think they just want to know why. They just want a real genuine explanation of what happened. Logan Paul is in it, bruh. But see, that's the thing, is like, as many negative things as people have to say about Mike, I want to reiterate that I genuinely feel that Mike was really passionate, and this was like something that he really cared about, maybe just in the beginning, but like the conception of this idea, I think was something he was truly passionate about. He was really genuine about. And I feel like whatever happened, I feel like he wants to explain it. I feel like obviously Mike didn't want this to happen. This was his baby. This was his brainchild. This was his big idea. He thought this was going to be the next big thing. Obviously, Mike didn't want Metazoo to shut down. And maybe there's legal reasons. Maybe there's a reason why he's not talking. But I just have a feeling maybe he wants to get it off his chest. And maybe he is afraid of like the feedback. I mean, I've heard people say that Mike is kind of like antisocial and he doesn't really deal with the criticism very well and he takes it to heart. And it's very stressful for him to get all this negative feedback. And I understand that. I really do. It's tough to be like the target of everybody's attack on the internet. It's not easy, especially if you've never been exposed to it before. But I feel like there's a part of him that is genuine and knows that he owes an explanation. And if I'm wrong about that and Mike did just rug pull everybody and he is a scumbag, then fuck him. But there really is part of me that thinks that there's a genuine part of him that feels horrible about this. And this is not what he wanted to happen, obviously. And I think he knows that people deserve an explanation. all these UFO cards we're opening are just just totally worthless. Metazoo Menace says, I'm in the minority, but Metazoo will be purchased soon enough. But most likely there's a deal being final. I don't know, man. I like to believe the best in people. I don't want to be too pessimistic about it, even though it seems like, you know, looking at how everything went down, it seems like it's pretty obvious that it was a scam or a rug pull and Mike had nefarious intentions. There's still a part of me that believes that Mike wanted this to work, and he wanted it to... I don't think Mike wanted this to be what it became. There's a part of me that thinks Mike really wanted this to be a success. It's kind of, I mean, I'm kind of still at a loss for words. I mean, it's, I didn't think we'd be here this fast. I mean, I agree with that. I think to an extent, especially in the recent future, it was probably a planned exit. But I think I'm saying from the beginning, I don't think this was ever his intention. Maybe in the last year, even maybe in the last couple months, the last year, maybe that was the plan, was this type of an exit. But I don't think from the beginning this was what he wanted. Yeah, shout out to Joker, man, who used to be one of the most die-hard Metazoo fans of anybody. But I'm glad to have all you guys here tonight. I really am. That stream earlier, having 340 people at the peak of that stream, that's just, it's unheard of for a Metazoo stream. 340 people watching live. The community is like reeling from this. No, this is like, it's sad, it really is, but the community is still showing up. I think the same thing, Jake. I'm not confident enough to say that Argos knew this was coming, but I think he had a clue. And again, one of the reasons why I say that is because Argos was actively buying the Karami boxes. And if Argos really knew that Metazoo was going to close its doors in January, I don't think he'd be holding a bigger bag. I don't think he'd be buying more Karami. He was already holding a bag from ordering it from the distributor because he ordered like 1,000 boxes. So that was already a mistake. And I think if he truly, really knew, he wouldn't be buying more Karami. I think he probably had an inkling that it was coming, though. But I genuinely don't think that Argos knew this was coming. I think Argos probably thought that Sanrio was buying it. I think he even said something to that effect, that he thought, you know, if Sanrio buys Metazoo, then Karami is going to be like the base set. Well, that's exactly why I think that. The grails he was selling off, that's why I think he might have had a clue. But I genuinely don't think he knew that Metazoo was going to be done in less than a month. I really don't think he knew that. He might have knew things were going bad, or things were going south, or that behind the scenes things were sketchy. That's why Bailey was calling Argos out. I don't think Argos is that bad of a guy, though. If Argos knew about this and he was still making videos saying, you know, Karami is doing really well, or Karami is showing a lot of market activity and it's rebounding, that's some real scumbag shit if he knew. I really don't think he's that type of guy. If he is, then that sucks, but I really don't think he's that type of dude. Argo said a company called POW based out of Portland was a buyer but backed out. Can you blame him? Honestly, yes, I do think it will. And like I said, that's part of the reason why I'm selling that one of one Mothman. I'm going to take that money, no matter how much it is. And I think a lot of these boxes are going to go sub $30. I think some of them are going to go sub 20. I think we're going to see Wilderness. I think we're going to see Nightfall. I think we're going to see Second Edition at like $15 a box, maybe even 10 for some of them. And I think at that point, they're worth buying just to have to open in the future for nostalgia. If we're talking $10, $15, $20 a box for Nightfall and Wilderness, I mean, I don't see any reason, just for fun, just for the fun of opening it, that's worth it. Even if everything you open is completely worthless, but just for the fun of opening a box that you enjoyed when you were a Metazoo fan. If it goes down to 10, 15 bucks a box, that's worth it. I agree with that, Jake. I do want to reiterate, though, every interaction that I've had with Argos has been extremely positive. And every purchase that I've made from him, every deal that I've done with him, every time I've talked to him, he seems like a legit stand-up guy. And I don't want to believe that he knew this was coming. I think he knew things were bad. And I think he knew that behind the scenes, something bad was happening. I don't think he knew this was coming. I mean, hell, even Gary said he had no idea this was coming. If he did know, what was he supposed to do? Well, if I knew, I would make a video about it. I would just tell people. I would tell my subscribers, if I knew 100% that Metazoo was shutting down, I would leak it 100%. I'd tell everybody. Yeah, but even if Mike told him personally, Metazoo's shutting down, it's done. What's the penalty going to be if he spills the beans? If Metazoo's gone, there's no repercussions. All right, guys, last pack of the night. And then I'll see you guys probably tomorrow for a regular video. And then hopefully Wednesday, we'll do another really big stream. And I hope to see you guys there. Ending on a caster gun. Thank you guys for stopping by. Man, I know it's a sad day, but I love you guys. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. And you guys made Metazoo the fun that it was. So thank you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Nick Strength and Pokemon signing out.